The AFC West is possibly, if not the most competitive. It's definitely in the conversation for being the most competitive because you have 4 teams. That is, you got towards the end of the season, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Broncos that all looked as though they could potentially make the playoffs. It was crazy. Clearly, you thought the Chiefs were going to be in. The Chargers looked like favorites. It was literally pretty much all the way up until, what is this? What the new game is? It week 18 now? And it was awesome. I really enjoy 4-team races towards the end of the season for a playoff spot. That's what it's all about. That's why you love football, because it's anybody's game. And I think, obviously, yes, the Chiefs have kind of been the winners of that division for the last couple of years, for a while, actually. But I think there needs to be something said about the Las Vegas Raiders here, because, yes, they are going through some changes. They're going through a new head coach, a new GM and everything. And I think when you bring in a new head coach and you bring in a new GM, there's a culture shift. There is a shift in how that team moves forward, with how it drafts, with how it puts that team together. And I think the mindset needs to be, it's time to take over. It's hostile takeover time, because there is, in my mind, no looking back from this. They have Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. This is it. You have Patrick Mahomes, who, in my mind, is clearly, I think he's, if not the number one, at least close to it, the number one quarterback in the NFL right now. And I think that not only are the Raiders in a prime position to be able to take it over, but they need to make the right calculated moves. Now, I think we have all covered that Derek Carr, I think, is good enough to win with the Raiders right now. I think we have also all covered that the Chiefs are a team that they're kind of top heavy. If you look at them, their offensive line is good. They've obviously got receivers. They got some good running backs. Their offense is fine. They're a really good offense. What were they? Number 1, yards, points, all that. They're the best offense in the entire NFL. But I feel like the biggest thing with the Chiefs is the question always is, how good is their defense going to be? And a lot of times you see guys like Chris Jones, Tyrann Mathieu, all those boys, they play up. They step up to the occasion because they're a couple of the best players in the NFL. But I also think that if the Raiders only get a couple of the players that they need in the offseason, we've touched on all this offseason, and we're going to continue to do when we talk about wide receiver. Again, I think they only need one good young wide receiver to bring in through the draft, whether that's the draft or whether they sign him in free agency. I mean, Devontae Williams, I think, or why do I keep calling him Devontae Williams? Devontae Adams, nailed it. Needs to be a key free agent signing, or at least a caliber. They need to look for the caliber type of receiver in free agency that Devontae Adams is, because this team is a speedy wide receiver away, and a speedy wide receiver, maybe 2 offensive linemen away from being tough. And I know there's a lot of questions on defense, but if they had the same defense, let's just throw out hypotheticals here. That's what we like to do on this channel. Their defense was playing like one of the best defenses in the entire NFL through the last month of the NFL season, and people are, I know, people in the comments section are going to say, oh, but what about the rest of the year, the playoffs? They lost to the Cincinnati Bengals, who are in the Super Bowl right now, by a touchdown. To the last second, they were basically with the Bengals. And I don't put a whole lot of that loss on the Raiders. I think if you upgrade one corner position, I think you beat. Whether it's Dobbs or whoever you want to replace, but if you replace one, or Hobbs, whatever his name is, one corner, I think you match up way better with the Bengals and any NFL team for that matter, especially with how good your defense was playing. Now, that's not to say that the Raiders should not look at upgrading a couple of key positions. We talked about corner. I also think defensive tackle, if you want to do that through the draft, is definitely an area in which you need to go. I have said you need to go out and get an outside linebacker, but we also mentioned Malcolm Kuntz. And that's another thing. The Raiders could go towards a 3-4 defense, because I think that's what Patrick Graham has done in the past. I think he did with the Giants these last couple of seasons. Listen, I think that they can make a really good transition to a 3-4. Listen, I know Max Crosby and Unique Ngakoue aren't exactly suited for that, but I don't care. I think you could get 2 defensive ends and have those guys coming off the edge, or one coming, or put a little bit of weight on Max Crosby. They might fare better than you think. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Unique Ngakoue did so with the Ravens with the short stint he had with the Ravens. And did he do it? He might have done it with the Jaguars too. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think these guys are definitely suited for a 3-4, which way they want to go, whatever gets the best players, including Malcolm Kuntz on the field. I think you need to get him. He's a stud. So, but at the end of the day, all this trickles down to the fact that every move, every free agent signing, every trade, every draft pick, everything needs to be done with the mindset that it's time to take over. It is time for hostile takeover time. Leave no survivors. That is literally the Raiders. It has to be the Raiders mindset moving forward because, again, this team has, if you look them on paper, they are a very talented team. And I think, I would argue they have one of the best fan bases in the NFL because through thick and thin, they just, no matter what, Raiders fans are always supporting their own. You love to see it, and no matter what. And they've always got their team's backs. Like, if anybody, says a little something about the Raiders, there's a Raiders fan that's ready to go toe-to-toe with whoever's saying it. And I love it because I think that's what the NFL teams and football is supposed to be all about. If somebody says something about your team, you need to be able to, like, hey, say something. I got off track here. I'm sorry. Let me get back to the point. It's time for the Raiders to take over. And I think that needs to be their calculated mindset and movements moving forward. And I think that's what they need to focus on as they head into the 2022 NFL season. But let me know what you guys... Wow, let's try that again. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. In our description down below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below. And make sure you guys, do that. We would really appreciate it. We'd love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the Las Vegas Raiders needing to take over.